Cool, very good with the sound machine. Yasmina's in the game, I can tell.
I can time it.
You look fantastic.
I always do, thank you.
There you go. I like the confidence. You look fantastic.
Well, today's a special day.
Okay, it's nice to see our friends Yasmina and Harry.
As you can
set.
tell, he dressed up for the event.
We didn't know this was happening.
Yeah, I have a feeling you guys got strong-armed this morning. Is that
It wasn't this morning.
No, it was last night.
It
Oh, it was last night. How many times did you say no?
All the way up until
You
this
walked in.
morning.
And then you realized you had no choice.
I had the night to think about it. I don't think have we introduced ourselves yet?
Oh no, we haven't started
We haven't
the show.
started the show
Oh,
yet.
okay.
The mics are just hot.
Yeah, the
so
mics are
everybody
hot.
can hear us.
We're letting people know we're going on air. Guys, give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching. We got Keith's beautiful older daughter here on set. I mean, you're the older daughter.
I am.
Yeah, you're younger than I am.
I have no idea.
Oh, you are. You are.
Okay.
And we have the dapper Harry Tyson.
Who participates in our show regularly from afar.
I do like when you do that.
Thanks,
I
man.
really do. You offer great perspective. Give
Appreciate
the show a like and a share. I like when you bring up conversations about the gutters and the house and the housing market in Connecticut and keep us on our toes. Keith Smith, it's episode 200.
Can you believe that, man?
Man, here we go. I think we're going to have fun with the sound.
So who was the one that actually gave that to her? You did that.
Yeah, she's in the business.
Yeah,
She
she's
should
in the
have
biz.
control of the sound machine. I have absolutely no problem with that. Judah Wickhauer, my friend, we are in your hands, sir.
I just can't believe it's 200, brother.
200 episodes.
Oh, sorry, that's not happening at kids at home.
I'm sure it's on silent anyway.
Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness. We're live in Charlottesville, across the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love Seville Network. And folks, this is episode 200. If you had told me, I guess 200 episodes ago, that we would be sitting in this chair with the gentleman and do 200 episodes later, 3 shows a week, about 90 minutes a show. So what is that, Harry? You're the numbers guy here. That's like 4.5 hours of live programming a week with Keith Smith and Yes Realty Partners on the I Love Seville Network. I would have said, no way, Jose. There's got to be a sound effect for that right there, Yasmina. There we go. Studio camera, and let's welcome a cast of characters on the program. Keith Smith, the distinguished gentleman you know. These folks over here you're about to meet, they are A-plus people and family. Yasmina
Yes.
and Harry of Keith's family.
We produced that.
Guilty.
Very nicely done. She takes after her mother.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
I know, but you have my attitude a little bit.
I am you, Dad.
You are me, for sure. 200 shows, man. You know, okay, enough on the claps. So, 200 shows. I went and actually watched the first show last night that we did. And that was like, wow, I sucked at that.
No, you were just new to the game.
New to the game, but this is 200 shows. And as you were going through your opening thing, I was thinking, is it time for us to get therapy? We need to get couples therapy?
I think we're about to do this for 90 minutes.
This couples therapy?
It's family therapy.
It's family therapy. But
Also, I don't know how you're surprised that you put a camera in front of my father and it's 200 episodes later, 3 times a week.
Is it the camera or the microphone? Or is it a little bit
It's
of both?
just a
Both.
platform where people don't interrupt him that much, and he has a microphone.
Yeah, he likes it. He likes it. I have a feeling we're going to hear some zingers today.
You think?
Distinguished gentlemen.
you think?
Why don't we do this? Before we have some fun for the next 90 minutes, Yasmina, introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Yasmina Smith originally, now Yasmina Smith Tyson because I married this gentleman. I am Keith's older daughter, as you so nicely put. And yeah, that's about it.
Tell us what you do.
I'm a makeup artist for TV and film in the tri-state area. And we have 2 children that take up the majority of my time when I'm not working 60 hours a week. And that's about it.
I know what that's like.
Yes.
2 kids. You guys are rock stars. We have 1. and every day Harry is a different challenge with one. 2, you guys are in the freaking Hall of Fame over here.
Well, in the trenches.
Yeah, in the trenches is a good description. Harry Tyson, introduce yourself to everybody.
My name's Harry Tyson. I'm married to Yasmina. I am Keith's son-in-law. Though we're not that far apart in age. But that's.
I thought we weren't agreed we weren't going to bring that up today.
Well, I don't know if that's good for you or bad for me, but either way, I work at a hedge fund in Westchester, New York, in the compliance department, and yeah, I mean, Yasmina already mentioned our kids. Our son is almost 3. Our daughter, Vienna, is what is she? 8 months, 7 months?
Almost 8 months. Yeah.
Almost 8 months, and they're both adorable, and they are everything in the world to us.
Well said. Very nicely done. That was, yeah, give the man some props right there. Harry Tyson,
He's
a pro.
always so much better talking about our kids. He's easier. You can just do it easier. You have
love
like
him.
Yeah, I do.
How do you characterize parenthood?
Ooh, great question.
It's for me. I mean, it's given a whole new purpose to to life.
It's very sweet.
It's you always have something to look forward to.
I call it the best, hardest thing ever,
Yeah.
and the longest, shortest thing ever.
Yeah.
The days feel like years, and then a year feels like, oh my God, my kid's 3?
Well, that's
It's
exactly. Literally today, walking out the door, I'm screaming because he can't pick a movie. Because our son is also speech delayed, so it's a little bit more difficult to kind of interact with him and try and figure out what this child wants, but he knows exactly what he wants. But then you go and you leave and you're like, well, it's not so bad, I guess. I'll look at pictures of him when he's cute. It's like super snuggly. It's just wild. And then our daughter is all of a sudden 8 months. Like,
Man,
Yeah.
8 months. You guys sleeping?
yes, we're
Yeah.
actually quite lucky. And now that I'm announcing this on camera, I feel terrible. But both our kids sleep through the night.
Wow,
like,
you are
we're
so
we're
fortunate.
very fortunate.
Well, she just started teething, so there's a little interruption there.
But
here and
it's
there.
not
For the most
anything
part, she's
bad in comparison to how other families.
So let's talk about why you guys came down and this little surprise visit that you guys did, and the surprise visit that Yvonne
That
flew
was
in
ruined?
from. That excuse me.
That was ruined.
That was ruined.
The
That
surprise got ruined?
Because Yvonne and I figured it out, by the way. You just can't be trusted with secrets.
He spilled the beans?
I did not spill. it.
You almost, I was
Hold it, hold
FaceTiming
it.
you.
Are we doing
and
this live?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Thanks for on.
I was FaceTiming you, and you were mentioning about how at the race on Saturday it's going to be, you wanted to watch me, Mom, and Sissy. You said Sissy, my sister.
that was the first mention of the race, by the way. Like,
there's the women's 4-miler.
Good call. Let's set the stage.
you got to give people an idea.
So let's talk about what I was trying to introduce.
So my mother has been.
Welcome to my world.
Has been really training really hard for this women's 4-miler. She's been really putting a lot of effort into it.
So let's give a shout out to
Mom,
Mark
as always.
and Mark and Ragged Money Run and
They're
Shop.
amazing. I actually still buy my shoes in Connecticut from Ragged.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
They mail
so
them to you.
and they mail them to
And
me.
he puts a little note in there that says, "Thank you."
It's really sweet. They're such kind people. And
So they've been doing this for decades.
yeah.
They're raising money for breast cancer. So if somebody can look up a link and drop it into the feed, that would be great. This is a great opportunity to give a shout out to a local company that's doing great things for our community. And actually, this is they're going to raise a bunch of money for
That's great.
breast care.
It's a really great company.
So, how did the surprise get spoiled?
Oh, so
He wants to go back to.
I'm curious.
I'm trying
well,
not
they've
to.
been really good. I actually just ran a race in New York recently. I ran a 10K, and normally their races are extremely organized. There's always emails and correct places to pick up bibs, and the whole mindset of the COVID, they've really streamlined it, but it was a total nightmare, this race. The bibs
New York.
the bibs weren't ready. I did a race in Prospect Park, actually. The bibs weren't ready. There were a
That's
delayed.
in Brooklyn, folks who don't know.
There was a delayed start. It was kind of a nightmare. And then everybody at Ragged, who I'm assuming is the main organizers of this race, have really been very concise on their emails about what to expect. And we know that we have to come with a mask and all of these other really great details. But in this great email, they told us to pick up our bibs and our race packets early to mitigate the amount of people kind of idly standing by at the race. I went ahead and bought my sister's bib and my bib at the same time to surprise our mother. My mom took it upon herself to go pick up my bib.
No, she went to go pick up her bib,
and
Mark said, because they know you and Yvonne.
No,
it's,
Dad, that's not what
okay.
happened, because
Okay.
she said she was going to pick up my bib, and I told
We
her
want to keep
explicitly.
viewers engaged here, guys.
I go, please do not pick up my bibs because you're going to find my sister's. And she did it anyway, and she found it.
And that's how she found out.
And that's how she found out my sister was flying in to surprise her as well.
So it's a wonderful story. Two
It's a
beautiful
bit
daughters.
long-winded.
One from Connecticut, one from Seattle,
Flew
coming
in.
to Charlottesville to support the beautiful Yona, the beautiful 7/8, and the women's 4-miler, right?
Yep, yeah.
That's a story. That's great.
I think she was somewhat surprised that she showed up
Yesterday morning.
the day before.
Yeah.
What was Yona's reaction?
She's very excited. She's always happy to see
Well, she was.
any of her kids.
It was
grandkids.
cute. She was paying attention to Harry and had
Yeah.
her back turned at Mom.
My son, not me.
Oh yeah, Mom surprised her, or Yvonne surprised her, and she was very sweet.
So you watch the show quite regularly, so thank you for doing that.
In general, I listen to it.
Okay, you listen to it.
But if something hits my ear and I'm like, oh, I want to get involved, then I'll.
So we're on
pop
200. That's this many. We're on 200. Anyone that stands out to you?
Ooh, tough question.
That is a tough
That
question.
literally just got put in the feed by Kevin Higgins. Out of the 200 shows, KS, which one stands out the most?
Yeah, and we're going to do a round table on that.
Okay.
Because I've got mine.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I thought it was nice that Yvonne's friend Kelsey was on that one show that you guys had.
That was the telethon.
I think that was part of the telethon.
Yeah.
So I mean, that whole telethon was kind of cool that you guys did that for.
He did all the
Many
work. I
hours
just
on-
tried to keep up with them. That
On
was
that.
just,
Trust.
yeah, this guy was a rock star. I was literally trying to keep up
What'd
with
you end
him.
up raising for that?
Quite a bit of money.
Quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of money, yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of, on the spot. I can't think of a.
Okay. What about you, Yas?
one.
Daddy, I don't listen.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's what I was trying to get out of her.
Not just to the show.
It's you.
You know what? We've had a lot of, we dressed up as Batman and Robin
There you go.
and Alfred. That was one of the shows I'll never forget. I love the roundtables with Neil and Sean.
Yeah.
The time when Lloyd Snook was here and you were over here and you guys almost jumped in the center of the
Oh,
table and got after it with each other.
that was
something
yeah, that
that I'll
was-
never forget.
yeah, that was,
Lloyd's a city councilor in Charlottesville. It's just been special because, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your pops' butt here, but he's a smart guy. He knows real estate inside and out. I've learned quite a bit from you when it's come to real estate.
That's a ditto, by the way.
I feel like in a lot of ways, and I've said this often, that like with the various shows we do here, it's almost like college again for me. Like you got a real estate expert, we got a finance expert, we got a retail expert. It's fun. I love connecting with people. I love being around guys and gals like you.
So my favorite was purely so you have to break it down into favorites. The one I had the most fun at was the Batman and Robin. That was just a lot of fun. The fact that we put ourselves through that out there in the public. Spandex, gotta love spandex.
Lives on the internet forever.
Lives on the internet forever. But-
I would say if I recall, the solar panel guys, when you had those guys on, that was a really good
So
show.
that was Joe Gentile.
Yeah, and one of them was Long Island, like a New Hyde Park guy. in Long
That's Joe
Island.
Gentile, yeah, with Pearl Certification is one of our
Right.
sponsors.
Oh, look at that. We got Batman and Robin on screen right now and Tad Luttrell.
That Tad Rothschild, and we're actually working on a part 2 for that.
Really?
Joe's coming down, Tad's coming in. We're going to talk a little bit about that because Pearl and Solar are teaming up together to do some pretty neat stuff. So literally was on the phone with Joe yesterday, and the conversation was very short. Hey, I need you to come and do a show. Good, I'm there. Let's talk pizza. We talked pizza. So that was that. I had an interesting conversation with an agent. We're doing this extra show on Monday, which we're super excited about, which is his Monday Market Monitor. And this particular agent was asking me, kind of what I got out of doing this. And this makes me better at my job. It really, really does, because I have to take the time. Today, we're just freewheeling it. We're just having fun, right? But, when we prepare and I have guests there, I have to prepare for that, and I have to read, and I have to, it makes me better at my job. So that I'm thankful for, that this has really made me better at what I do. Maybe it's made me a better communicator on that stuff, but it just made me better at the real estate world that I do.
It certainly has made you the source of the source. I don't know how many times over the course of a week, whether it's at Wegmans or Giant or on the racquetball or pickleball or squash courts, where someone will bring up, most often, this show. And why it's this show is, A, there's 3 of them.
Sure.
B, we have, I think, a very good on-air chemistry.
Sure.
You're a very likable guy. We try to bring content that's not necessarily the most approachable content, and it's dry content.
It's hard.
And right, and we bring it in a fun, entertaining,
way.
How
do you talk about appraisals?
Right.
Right. When we help.
Appraisals are cool, though.
So why is this appraisals cool?
I don't know. It's just interesting. You're walking into a house. You get to see an inside of a house. I find that fascinating in and of itself, because you never know what a house looks like.
Oh no! So we're talking about loan appraisals.
Oh,
so remember
I thought you were talking about appraisals
that
of the
when
house.
you called me up in tears, that document.
Oh yeah. Well,
Right, when we helped you buy your house up in Connecticut. So that's the appraisal. That's what the bank.
Doesn't somebody go into your home and make an appraisal off of your home?
So that's exactly right.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's the cool part, is going into a house and figuring out a number based on your expertise and the market and knowing information about the area.
That's interesting. I never looked at it that way.
You get to see inside someone's home. That's what everybody wants
The
to do.
appraiser gets to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you think, Harry?
What's the question? I feel like you kind of went off the rails.
Just throw anything out, Harry. Throw anything out. Come on, buddy. You're usually pretty sharp on that.
Are you trying to say it's a very dry topics to make it interesting?
Yeah, so you watch enough shows, right? And this is not dry, but these are tough topics to have a conversation about in a talk show setting, right? Because that's what this is. So, that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. It requires me to really understand what I'm talking about, or maybe not, to go ahead and have a conversation. You participated enough. For some of the numbers perspective, is what we do make sense? Does it resonate with somebody who's listening to it on the other side?
I don't know. I mean, I listen to the shows because it's, you guys are entertaining, and it's sometimes the topics are interesting. But in general, I mean, I don't know that real estate really
It's not your cup of tea.
It gets me going.
Not your passion.
Oh, I don't know. We and you and Jerry would get off, would communicate with us or be on the same page as us. We had a 40-year mortgage conversation last night over a beer and a glass of wine is that really a good thing or really a bad thing? And
Are you talking about our situation?
No, just in general, a 40-year mortgage, because they're coming. This is something that's starting to pop itself into the industry.
Many years.
A little.
That's so long. The 40-year mortgage.
Yeah, so how do you feel about that, Yvonne? Yasmina.
I mean, I have a very clear goal on what I want to do with my life, and tacking on 10 years to a payment of a house does not compute with my goal. Yeah. So that's
well said. I agree.
That's just difficult for me, and I know that there's more nuances to it. It's just, I want to retire when I'm 65. I want to move out of my house and sell my home when I'm 65. I want to no longer be on set when I'm 65.
So you threw the set thing out. So I'm going to dodge that conversation and move over to something else, right? We had this conversation on the way in. You said you're comfortable talking about what you do. So we just talked about what our favorite show is, or what our favorite, because I've got a couple more. What is your favorite, without maybe not using a name, however you can do it without getting into trouble, what you do for a living? Who did you enjoy the most?
I mean, that's a difficult question to ask because it's all on the moment of time. I loved working on Billy on the Street. I was working on Billy on the Street, I hated working on Billy on the Street because I was outside every day. But it was, it ended up being one of the prouder things I worked on. Just following a crazy man running around New York City.
So that's Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner, the show Billy on the Street. I can't remember what platform it's on now. Well, I mean, it doesn't exist anymore
So
now.
the presence of the
They probably do repeats on.
I think it's on
True TV
Netflix,
or
but
something.
the point what I'm trying to say is that post-COVID, you can't even do that. You can't even do what we were doing. And what we
Yeah.
were doing was walking around the streets and walking up to people and engaging in conversations and touching people. When I wrapped that show, I never thought that was going to be an extinct possibility. I never thought that was never going to exist again.
That's crazy.
And it now has. So look, that's a show that now, post 4 years, 5 years after we've stopped shooting it, I can say is one of my favorite shows I worked on. Pre-COVID, I don't know if I would have had the same answer.
She's got questions coming in
Sure.
for her.
Oh.
Let's get to some of the comments. They want to know how your profession's been impacted by COVID.
Great question.
Before I do, let me relay this. This is on the 40-year mortgage. Michael Buchensky, he's a mortgage broker,
Yeah.
First Heritage Mortgage. He says a 40-year mortgage basically assures you pay double for the house once you factor in the interest payment. They are a bad idea. It's the fleecing of America. He also says appraisals are an art form. Make
Yep.
sure you use lenders who work with local appraisers
Yeah.
with
Exactly.
experience. Makes all the difference to get a true, accurate valuation of a home.
Well,
We
that's
learned that the hard way.
exactly what we dealt with.
You guys want to offer? Do we want to go down that road at all?
Sure.
Sure. Well, our initial banker, our initial lender was we'll say it was a big lender.
And they live in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, we were living in Queens, but we were buying a house in Connecticut, and the lender that we were using was somebody because I used to work at a bank many years ago, and I still am in contact with these people. So I asked if they're still in the business, if they want to help me out, and I'd help them out with the commission or whatever. Work with people that you know. So they said that this Connecticut was still in their footprint, so that they were able to do it. But the problem was that they sent a person to our home
That
to
wasn't
appraise it that was from nowhere near that property, and the appraisal was garbage. So I mean,
It was like 50,000 under
Yeah,
what you
like-
were
like
buying.
well under what
I
we
thought
needed.
it was more than that.
No, it was 50,000
Oh, okay.
under.
But what ended up happening was we had to part ways and say I'm sorry because we still want the house. She was devastated. This was
It
like
was.
like they say don't fall in love with your home. You always say that.
Nice.
We
got
heard
the
it 1,000
phone.
times, but tough shit, man. Like she fell in love with the home.
Hard.
So that and now I'm. I can't have that.
Sure.
So we had to do whatever we could. So we ditched that lender. We found a local person. I don't know if you'd say his name or whatever. But,
you can say his name if you want.
I honestly,
I don't
it was
remember.
Tim.
But It
Tim
doesn't
something, I
matter.
can't-
You reached out. We found
Anyway, yeah.
through our resources.
Within,
found
like,
it.
48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, he banged this loan out so fast. He got an appraiser.
Was a local
appraiser in
appraisal.
there. They appraised it for what we needed, but also what it was worth. And we were able to save the house.
Well, the delta, and this is what Mike's trying to say, the delta, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, the delta between the two, between the low and the high was almost $100,000.
Something like that, yeah.
So appraiser number two, just to echo what Michael is trying to talk about here, was a local lender. You guys reached out. I got the phone call in tears.
Yeah.
Daddy Harry, fix it. We went and fixed it. And brought in another guy through our network that we have around the country, and it was a delta of $100,000 between appraiser A, 50 grand under, appraiser B was 50 over.
But it's so important to have someone who knows
Local,
that area.
local, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about after we talked about the 200th show, where we helped you guys buy your first home, and I remember. I think at some point you were trying to do it on your own a little bit, would you? I can't remember that whole
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I think you were kind of involved. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be foolish not to have you involved.
We always were going to do a realtor. I was
Yeah.
never going to not do that. That's ludicrous.
So let's
in my
talk about that.
opinion.
So you're of the millennial age group. Why did you?
Dad, I grew up in
Yeah,
housing.
well, let's
and
try a
land-
different answer then.
And land development, and my parents are two realtors that have their own real estate company. Do you think I'm really going to just be like, you know what?
Okay.
Let's
Next
wing it.
subject.
Yeah, successful. So how's the house? How's the home ownership? How's everything going with the crib?
I mean,
With our house,
Yeah.
it's got its ups and downs.
thank God I married him because
You are pretty lucky.
I am.
Very lucky.
I'm very spoiled.
Really?
Yes. And when it comes to certain things around the house, if it's broken, I always say we're fortunate in a space where we can have someone else fix it, because I'm not fixing it. And so that's kind of how, for
Depending
me,
on what it is.
yeah, but that's kind of how the house experience has been for me. For Harry, he's always kind of taken on all the roles of, once it's broken, it's kind of him to fix it, and I just go, thanks.
Very nice, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, I determine whether or not it's something I'm capable of, and depending on the level of difficulty.
And
then-
sometimes I get a phone call.
Yeah, often.
Most times.
We've had a couple of problems with our roof. Like I said, when I first moved in, I didn't realize that
The gutters.
fix you got to
remember
clear
that
your
comment.
gutters.
Yeah.
And
It caused
it's-
quite some damage.
people got to realize that it's not just that the gutter, it's not going down the tube, so it's just going to overflow. You got to realize that it might inflow into the house. So, when water causes a lot of problems.
We
So,
had a
like,
leak in our kitchen, and it took us almost a year. We had
Yeah.
3 leaks, significant leaks in our kitchen. It took us almost a year and a half to figure out that it was just because of our gutters.
So the gutters were full, going past the fascia boards,
Right.
linking into the roof, going into the kitchen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like we had latex paint. With the first problem was that our latex paint
Bubbled.
filled up like a balloon, and we probably didn't notice it for like a week. And then one day she looked up and was like, "What the hell is going on over there?"
Well, we
So-
got up on the roof and we figured it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but at that point we redid the one part of our extension, or the roof part, I'm sorry, of our
Flat roof.
extension, the flat roof of our
Which is-
extension, which
ugh.
didn't solve that problem. Then we
If
cut
you can
open.
avoid a flat roof.
We cut open the inside to try and find the leak. That didn't solve the problem. And then by the third time, we realized that it was the gutters that was causing this issue. And thank God we did before
In
the
all fairness,
storm.
he realized that.
Fine. He did.
Don't mess with those gutters and fascia boards.
I'm trying to get a little credit here.
Hence why I don't do any of this stuff. I'm very fortunate that I grew up.
Let's go back to the question on how it impacted your business.
Michael Buchetsky says your beard game almost rivals his beard
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Michael Buchetsky's got a good beard.
Oh yeah.
It's a well-conditioned. I'm very impressed with that beard.
Look, I groom people professionally.
It looks
This
good.
is what he won't let me touch it.
I think it looks great. It's conditioned. You use beard conditioner, don't you?
No.
He does.
I use shampoo and conditioner on this.
the whole face.
Yeah.
There we
and
go.
then I use soap on the rest of it.
There we go.
His mustache needs to be groomed. It all needs to be groomed. It needs to be
It is a-
shaped.
it is
You know
a
what?
little-
I'm giving Harry Tyson. I like Harry Tyson over there.
It's a little out of hand right now. It's gotten
It's got beautiful coloring.
a little
I
crazy.
think it's absolutely fantastic. Ray Cadell is watching the program.
Hey, Ray, thank you.
He says with a big bank, you are a number. There are mass volume based. They are okay pre-approving every application that comes in. Seriously, I've seen folks with a pre-approval from a big bank and they were in no way qualified, so I had to get them on a game plan to make it work, knowing they will have a 40% fallout. Use local anywhere you go
Local.
all the time.
I
Absolutely.
know Ray Cadell from way back in the day.
He's a realtor.
Ray Cadell
Ray
actually.
Cadell's name comes up all the time. on
Well,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
He knows. We used to hang out. He knows Della Bennett and Cara Corso, so it's kind of
Where'd
interesting.
that accent come
I know.
from?
It- he-
Dale Bennett.
Dale Bennett. Well, it's Della. How was he supposed to
You're
say
losing
her name?
your New Yorker real fast there.
How
going
was you
back
supposed to say her
back
name?
to Flavanna County.
Good old
say
Della
Della
Bennett.
Bennett.
Thing on a, so hey, I just want to give a shout out to Ray. Ray paid taps at the Vietnam Vets Memorial. Brought me to tears. Thank you for doing that, Ray.
Oh,
You're a
that's
rock
Ray,
star.
fantastic.
you are A-plus people. Harry Tyson, when you go from Queens and Connecticut to Fluvanna County, what is that transition like for you?
I've been to Virginia several times, growing up. So I like it here. I mean, it's not someplace that I see myself living in. Not at this stage of my life, but I'd love coming to visit. Virginia.
for the-
Fluvanna County in particular. I mean, I don't know. It's very nice. It's kind of open. It's a lovely place. It seems like a lovely place to grow up, especially where these guys are in Lake Monticello. It seems like a nice, it's a lovely community, safe and nice houses, and it's a great little place. But for us right now, it's not for us.
Your two professions would be a little difficult to do here. Hedge fund,
Right.
you could possibly do a hedge.
You could work remotely.
Hedge fund here because
I
you
could
could do it
probably find
remotely
I
now.
don't think Yasmin.
Yasmin is either New York or
Well, it was
LA.
interesting, actually. My two friends I just mentioned, they were saying that there is stuff filming in Richmond, but the main issue with working in Virginia is Virginia's a right-to-work state.
Right, it's not a union.
And
Not a
I
union.
am a local 798 union worker. So
And as a result, you make some bank.
I make a livable wage to support my family. Yes, because of my union, which protects me and make sure that I get compensated correctly, and they have my back.
So back to the COVID question.
Which titles into the union, because for us, I was out of work. My entire industry was down, essentially, besides shooting in anywhere else but the United States.
Like 14 months, right?
We were down from March to September. So I wrapped a show. They told us 2 weeks. They gave us 2 weeks worth of pay, very generously. And then they said, we'll be back. And then they weren't. And it took 6 months to kind of figure out how to start working again. And it looked very, very different. But in the past year, it's just gone right back to where we were, except I get COVID tested
Every other day?
No, 5 times a week.
No way.
Absolutely. Yeah, easily.
You get the rapid test
I
5
get-
times a
I
week,
get
or
a-
is it PCR?
I get rapid. It depends on the show, so it goes on the show. But my union has fought because I'm in a red zone area. So essentially, I'm the only people on set that work with actors and touch their face without masks on. So there's a lot of incentive to protect us. So we have to wear KN95, so you have to wear masks, and you also have to wear goggles.
Wow.
Sometimes shields. They had us in gowns and all of this other stuff. It just was not, you just can't do that job that we do and have all of this gear on. And so because of that, we have to get tested. We get rapid tested on Monday, and then on Wednesdays you get PCR'd on this most recent show I've been working on. But you get rapid tested every day before anybody comes in the chair. So rapid, 15 minutes, and you wait for your results. If you clear, and you're good to go for the day.
Michael, who has your back about the beard, because your wife was giving you a zinger over here.
It just
he
needs to
said-
be groomed.
He said, this is hilarious, and he said, you can have his Thunder ointment for the beard, the Thunder beard conditioner. I think it looks great. Michael also thinks it looks great right there.
Thank
It's
you,
the
Michael.
bearded guys standing up for each other over here.
There's a camaraderie there.
I'm never hating on the beard. It just needs to be groomed.
Well, I don't think you were hating on him. I think you gave him a little zinger over there.
Some random guy like yesterday just was like, I
Really?
like your beard.
But you get that all the time, don't you?
Not all the time, because that one kind of like I'd never seen this guy before in my life, but he decided to go out of his way and give me a little beard compliment. It was nice.
How about this? So Grayson wants to know, and you've already highlighted how your profession's been impacted by COVID. Other folks are asking stories from childhood.
Oh,
of
Jesus.
This guy. Keith.
I need a
What,
basis.
in other words, what scars have I left you with?
It's no scars.
It's
It
a
just
joke.
adds to personality quirks.
What did I used to do to you?
She went to Fluvanna County High School.
I flying flukos.
Flying Flucos, 1.0 or 2.0?
I don't know what that means.
The high school.
I thought you meant her
Oh.
GPA.
I know. I went.
Hit the clap one on that one.
It was much higher than
The
that,
old
by the
high
way.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. So I don't. My father's always late.
Yeah,
He's
that
always
was-
late. And I asked him this last night. I go, "What do you do?" And I think that was
What doesn't
kind.
he do?
Well, that's the thing. But he's always doing something, and you're doing something, and you're who has time to be on a show 3 times a week, start their own business, run their own business,
launch a new company,
be a success, and then you're on some board. Like, you had to get up from dinner last night because you're like, oh, it's a quorum, and go away. And I'm like, what does this mean? So
He's a busy guy.
that relates into now as
So
an
do we
adult.
have to define quorum for you?
I get it, but now I understand why my father was always late, because
He's grinding.
Well, as a small business owner, you're just always on. Always.
Very true.
And so, but I mean, my sister and I both have very vivid memories and scarring, if that's going to cause any scarring. We're always on time, and it's to the point where it's like
It's really-
it creates panic attacks. But we were also just like the last kids with our backpack, being like, yeah, my dad will show up when he does, and then here comes the
It's
white
true.
truck.
It's true.
And then we're like, where were you? And he's like, in a meeting, and we're always like, what is this meeting? What meeting? What? You've been in a meeting our entire life.
Michael wants to know what's the most embarrassing thing Keith has ever done that you can remember.
He's never been embarrassing.
Well,
I don't think so. I don't ever have like a moment of being like, I can't believe my dad's here. Like, our house was the house everyone came over.
That's true.
Our parents always had, always brought people over. My friends went through heartbreaks, and my mom took care of it. Like, I was never ever embarrassed to have my parents around. Like, as a teenager.
except when I showed up at 45 minutes late.
Well, I mean, that's different, but like in the sense where like a normal kid's like, oh, go away, Dad. Like, that was never.
You guys never did that.
That was never it. They
Never
were
did
always
that.
there at everything. And Yvonne and my sister and I can attest to this. I mean, at my sister's wedding, all of our friends know our parents. Like, so I never really had an embarrassing moments, because you know what? They were there. Not a lot of people can always say that their parents were there.
Come on, let's get this one right there. That is great. So Leslie says, I love that shirt you're wearing.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
those dinosaurs?
They
Dinosaurs.
are.
Can we get a close-up on her shirt over there? Viewers are asking about the shirt.
So I
It says roar.
It does. So our son is speech delayed, and there are, he's getting much, much better, and it's a process that we've been spending the past year or so, kind of with getting a concise diagnosis and having actual speech therapists and also occupational therapists, and there's certain things he knows, and it's dinosaurs, and he doesn't say dinosaurs quite yet, but he does say roar. So I kind of always
Says roar.
Yes, I kind of always wear this shirt as an homage
Hey, yes.
to my little dude.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. You gonna
I've
cry?
just realized I'm going to cry probably.
Yeah, I know.
He's an emotional guy.
I know he is.
Just put on Lassie. That's all you got to do. Or any Shirley Temple movie.
Or Inside Out, apparently.
Inside Out. But
Did that get you?
Oh
Inside
yeah,
Out?
that's what Yvonne said.
Yeah.
When the
It got Harry. It got little Harry.
So I'm just thinking, this is 200th show. Probably this is the least amount of talking I've done in 200
This
shows.
is the least amount of talking you've ever done since I've known you.
Ever.
Ever.
Ever. Well, it was funny. So Yvonne, who isn't with us,
She's at home?
she's watching my children or our children.
Okay.
She took one
With
for the
Yona.
team.
Took
yeah.
one for the team, so you guys can show up. So if anybody's ever been to the Studio X or Jaybird, when you walk in, there's a gallery and a listening room. And I was touring Yvonne through the building yesterday, and we walked through that. She goes, "You mustn't use this room much." And I went, "What do you mean?" She says, "Listening. You're not a real good listener." Oh, really? So they sing me all the time. So
Well, why don't you let the viewers know, you grew up literally in a house full of women and estrogen, right? Weren't the animals even females?
Oh, are you talking about as
He's not where he grew
not
up, but
where
where you grew up.
yeah. There's a lot of women. Yeah. Well, there was Leo, but Leo, he didn't count.
well,
Poor
Who's Leo?
Leo was so when my father broke his back for the first time, because that's the other thing that people might not know about this man, is that he broke his back twice.
Fell off a ladder, right?
The first one, I fell off a ladder. The second one was
And then
ice skating.
yep.
Of course.
Keep it going. I'm just going to sit here and
I
shake
didn't
my
know
head.
It was twice.
But after he,
That's why you had to give up that figure skating career.
I did. I gave it up. I gave it up.
That's why he
Fresh
gave up
out of the
running,
Marines?
right?
No. I gave up. The reason I broke my back is I got osteoporosis.
Yes.
And osteoporosis went from my back into my hips. But I really gave up the figure skating things because the spandex really wasn't working.
Wait, now you're back in him with the bikes.
It worked for
I'm
Batman.
back in the worked for Batman. I'm backing into the bike. Yeah.
And your bicycle ride.
But our first dog Dad had as a job site dog, but then broke his back and was home, and so it essentially became my dog. And so that was a male dog. But other than that, we've always had
so my
females.
standard joke is
Fish? I've heard this joke so many times over here. He's got like 20 go-to
Oh, I know.
jokes. Yeah, obviously you know. Yeah. Okay, tell the joke.
no, I don't want to tell it now.
I didn't mean to
I
take the
don't want to
punchline.
tell
I'm
it. You
sorry.
took it away. I don't
I'm
want to tell
sorry.
it now. I'm just gonna drink my coffee.
No.
I do not want to play.
Tell the story.
No, I don't want to do it.
You have Yona, you have Yvonne, you have Yasmina, the fish.
The female dog, female cat.
What about the bunny rabbit? Was that a...
That's right.
the
Bunny
bunny
rabbit was
rabbit.
female.
Yeah.
Very good on that. And we had fish, and I wasn't really sure if they were male or female because when I turned them over, I couldn't tell. So I went with they were female.
Fish are
They were
tricky like
female.
that.
It's so tricky like that. How do you tell if a fish is a male or a
Where's the rib
female?
shot now? Where is the rib shot? Is it this one?
What does that mean?
That's like a...
So
Oh,
that's a great question. How does anybody tell the difference between a male and a female
I'm
fish?
sure there's scientists that
Okay.
know that.
All right.
A blood sample?
That's a good question. So what was that like?
Growing up in a house full of women?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah?
I would have not done it any other way.
Well, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. I love it. I love women. I love being around women. I love communicating with women. I really do. Yeah, I do. It's. I think living with you, your sister, and your mother made me a better man.
That's sweet, Daddy.
I really do. Made me a better man. I understand what it's like. Mom and I were actually having a conversation about that last night, about what it was like, growing up, because we're empty nesters now, right? And
Yeah, you can have 2 kids.
No, you can have 3 kids. You're fine too.
hold it, my hearing aids ain't working. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Because we're empty nesters, and you kind of get into a routine. And I get up, I do my bike ride, and yada yada yada, and we have a cup of coffee, and Yona and I talk, and we plan our day. And I came home last night to total chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Total chaos.
What
Yeah.
time did you get in?
Oh, God, 6:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk in, set the stage. What was
I
going on?
I walk in, and all my neat little things that I have set up on my kitchen counter are gone.
That was even before my children came in, or our children came into the mix. When Yvonne's in the house, it's like,
Tornado. Her name is Tornado. Her nickname is Tornado. But I walked in, and I did really good. I didn't freak out. I absorbed it, had a glass of wine, sat down.
I didn't even notice it was an issue.
Yeah, well, it's an issue, I got to tell you. In
So
front of
you
all
had a
these
little
people-
OCD?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think? You think?
Give us a story on that.
You can, again, ask my friends. He always had a towel on his shoulder. Even Della quoted, so I keep referencing Della. Della owns Plenty, the...
Della Bennett.
Seville Plenty?
well, it's not Seville Plenty, it was Seville Blooms, which was her original
Is it
company.
Food delivery?
But it's a food delivery
Yeah.
company, and she just got
Seville in it.
a new space,
Ooh.
and so she
Right
has
next
a
to Firefly.
brand new kitchen, which is beautiful, and I'm so
Oliver's?
proud of her.
Yeah, Oliver's building.
She has a beautiful social media presence, but she even joked. She sent me a photo when she got her brand new kitchen, and she goes, "I got my towel on my shoulder. I hope I'm doing it right." And then she had to laugh. She's like, "Well, I can't because of the Food and Drug Administration." She's like, "It's actually you're not supposed to have
So what
it."
would happen is, so we've got a bonus room upstairs and blah, 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 blah. And the reference back into this, and it's just really, you two ladies are really fortunate, and you too, Harry. I gave you guys compliments on this all the time. You guys got core friends that Mom and I really don't have. We have people we know, people we grew up with, other than Ray, my buddy that I was in the Corps with. But you have folks that you went to high school with. You have folks you went to high school with. Yasmina, Yvonne went to high school with, that you guys remain close and tight. I left New York, and I had no interest in ever going back there. The people I grew up are either dead or in jail, right? Literally, they're either dead or in jail. Yona left Europe, right? So all her family and her friends are in Europe. And it's so wonderful to sit back and watch you folks do that. You too. I see your friends and group of friends around it, and somebody who's maybe I'm getting a little old here, a little on the tooth here to do it. But what would happen is part of the joke was Dad put clothes on, right? Because
you were walking around in your tidy whities?
Oh, always.
Oh, of course.
It's his house.
My house. I do what the hell I want to do. But we never really knew how many young people were in the bonus room and Sunday I cooked breakfast for everybody. We listened to.
I was always so pleasant about it.
You were.
My Maggie would always quote me. She's like, only you would get annoyed that you got woken up to like a breakfast downstairs. I'd be like, come on, Dad, I want to sleep. Because we would come in at like 4 o'clock in the morning and like 9 o'clock, the music would go on, the food was ready, and all of us would come downstairs and we would all have breakfast.
Sounds amazing.
That's what I'm saying. We weren't, it wasn't
you
bad.
bitched and moaned, I tell you at the time.
Because I'm an asshole. But
Never
like, that's besides the
once
point.
in my house.
What's changed?
No, right.
Not the first day of school.
Is that a hint?
Not on my birthday. It was.
Not on his birthday?
You don't make
No, I don't mean my house now. I mean like
No.
growing up though. Like
Gotcha.
breakfast was.
every Sunday morning I would cook eggs, bacon, pancakes, hash browns, do a whole thing. We would listen to NPR, the Bluegrass channel.
That's great.
I'd crank up the Bluegrass, kind of wake everybody up a little bit, and everybody would go.
No, it was just me. All of my friends were very, very grateful.
Yeah, sure.
Here's an interesting comment. How has the European influence impacted your life?
Ooh.
Me, a lot. I spent a significant amount of time in Austria. It's a little bit. I think the difference between my sister and I. Sorry, I'm losing.
So we should set the stage about Yona is Austrian.
Yes,
Right?
my mother is.
I had no idea. I'm like my shirts have gotten a little tighter. I don't know. The European. You mean like your mom being from Austria?
Okay, now Harry just showed up.
I love Harry.
Harry was a little. Harry was a little.
Like European influence. I'm like
Harry, I got to tell you, the first half an hour of this, I'm going, what the hell's Harry?
That was hilarious, Harry Tyson.
But this is
Harry
what you
was like-
don't know about my husband. He takes everything in. He's not like me or you, where we just word vomit constantly. Like he's actually absorbing and.
You mean he actually thinks, huh?
Yeah.
Who knew, huh?
I know.
Smart guy.
It's amazing. Actually thinks before he says something. How does that work?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Go ahead.
it's good, baby. It was funny.
So I was in this whole European tight shirt thing, but thanks for the mental picture, Harry.
It had a huge influence on
Yeah, talk about how you learned your trade.
Well,
yeah.
that's the other thing, I guess. So
You went to Europe for that.
for me, my sister and I are 8 years apart, and we kind of had a much different upbringing. My grandparents were significantly younger on my mom's side, so I spent we would go every year, and I would spend a significant amount of time there. So when people ask me where I grew up, I don't really say Virginia. I say I'm from here, but I spent a significant amount of time in Austria. And
Like how much are we talking each year? Like a summer?
Weeks.
Well, weeks. I mean, they would
Drop you off.
drop me off.
Yeah,
I would
sure.
get dropped off at my grandmother's house, and I mean,
Just
I'm
like
a
you
little
would drop
jealous
off
now.
your son at grandma's house, we'd fly her over there. And actually, I think you were 6 years old or 7 years old.
First time I flew
Yeah,
by
we
myself.
literally put her on a plane and said, go.
Yeah.
7 years old?
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Well, you had
Would you do that with Harry?
my son?
Yeah.
No, I'm stressing out about actually getting him on a flight with me. But it's also
Time out. You were stressing out walking out the door to get in the car.
it's difficult. He's not the
We'll see what he's like at
Well,
7. I mean,
And hold it.
it's a
Time
little
out.
different.
Time out.
You're saying let's give him a chance.
Yeah.
let's give
Time
him a
out. Do you
chance.
think you were easy?
I don't know. You guys were younger, significantly younger. It's just a little bit.
That makes a
It's
difference.
a different parenting
Sure,
aspect.
that makes a difference.
You
That's
know?
an interesting question, right? So, Mom and I, when we had you, we were 23 and 24.
Good night, that's young.
Yeah.
Also, they've
Different
only
time.
known each other for maybe
3 months.
3 months.
That's love.
3 months.
That's beautiful.
Year
Gotta be
35.
young and
It is,
dumb.
they're still together.
They
You're
are
35.
still together. 36 years.
35.
So the European influence, quite an impact.
It was much more of an impact on me. I mean, I don't. My sister doesn't either, but I don't have a Southern accent, and I grew up here.
That's true.
I have an Austrian accent around me all the time, and I have all New York accents because it's not just my father, it's my grandfather
Your whole family.
and my grandmother. Yeah. So that's kind of a weird little influence that I had.
So you're not really giving yourself credit. So I'll tell the story.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I was getting there.
You're a little slow, sweetheart. So
I answered the
what
question.
year did we send you to Europe for a year and a half?
I was 21.
21.
I was doing absolutely nothing here. I was waitressing, kind of not really getting my feet on the ground. My parents so generously bought me a one-way ticket, put me on a flight, and I went to go live with my grandfather. But this is in the most beautiful city in the entire world. We literally named our
poor
daughter
thing.
after
Vienna.
the city.
Vienna, Austria.
I spent some time, figured out that I enjoyed skincare and makeup and all of this stuff, and I was literally had my ticket to fly back, and my aunt, who is an esthetician there, walked me into a school and was like, this is a body painter. She teaches makeup and special effects. Give her a shot. And I did, and I ended up staying almost an extra year, and I went through an entire course there. And
So you
A huge impact.
went
Huge.
there.
Yeah.
You became an Austrian citizen, so
I
you're a
did.
dual citizen.
I am.
You had to, in order to get that, you had to speak German. So
yeah,
you speak,
that was the other thing. The entire course was taught in German, and I had to get certified in German.
so
in
you,
the course.
You learned German on the ground.
Yep.
You took your class. You took your certification in German.
Yeah.
I mean, you had some foundation in German, right? From
I did,
your
but
mom?
with mom, but it was, I never was confident
I get
enough
asked
to
that question
speak
all
it.
the time. I don't know why we never, over the years, really spoke more German or French around the house. I just don't know why we ever did.
It makes perfect sense. You're not immersed in it. Even when I was living.
I thought you were going to say because I can barely speak English.
Even when I was there.
Because you don't speak German. Keith.
That's it.
Number one
That's
answer.
literally what I was thinking right there.
That's it.
He knows like
speak English,
Shotzi.
Harry, come on, buddy. You can do this. Come on. Engage.
He's got a
And
couple
our-
of words that he said.
And my grandparents all spoke English beautifully. My aunt speaks English beautifully and writes English beautifully. So there was no incentive to speak anything else. I spoke German as a child, but I had so many ear infections and so on and so forth that they were telling you to pick a language, which you can't do now. Like, could you imagine telling your kid to not be bilingual now?
Right.
But I
In
had
school,
to.
they told you that.
Yeah, you said it.
Did I really? I don't
Well,
remember.
I think mom did. So.
Maybe mom did. I
How
don't know.
about the 8-year difference with your sis?
Oh.
Put that in perspective. Because sisters, but 8 years is quite a gap.
8 years is quite a gap. It was terrible till she was about 12.
So you're 20 when she's 12.
Yeah. So I was actually we'll call it 13. I'm empty. You're gonna have to get up and get.
J
some.
Dubs, we can get Harry a water. Could we get Harry a water?
Oh, thank you, Judah.
Yeah, thank you, Judah.
So I thought when you said the thing that you didn't like the most about growing up was the one sentence that came out of your mother and I's mouth. Watch you take care of your sister and then leave.
Yeah, that's always what happened.
So that's what we did. We had a built-in babysitter and Yasmina take care of your sister.
I would have
Yasmina.
taken full advantage of it as well.
There you go. So we did that. But you used to torture her.
I did. I never said I didn't.
Yeah. Some of the things you used to do to her is you should tell.
For example.
Oh yeah, we used to pick her up by her head all the time and swing her around, but she loved it.
So you told her that the
Oh,
story
God.
about the grave.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, this is terrible. So I was 13 when we moved out of Laguna or
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
So we moved into a much bigger house. And so Dad, at the time, did this amazing development, which is Acres, which is a part of the lake now. But at the time, it was totally separate. The house that we were living, or the lot that we were living on, used to have a silo. So
It was a farm, actually.
it was a farm.
Farmhouse,
So
yeah.
the farm got taken down. We put the house up. In my infinite wisdom, I told my sister that it was built on an old burial and that it was haunted.
Whoa.
Thought nothing of it. I dropped this knowledge and was like,
And she's how old?
4 or 5?
Good night.
I have never said it was nice.
She's still scarred about it. I'm
She
telling you.
is. She actually referenced it last night.
She referenced it at our wedding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But she then stopped sleeping in her room and then slept on the floor of my parents' bedroom for quite some time because
She literally
I
was
scarred
panicking.
her.
She thought that the ghosts were going to come get her.
Yeah.
Because her sister said.
Well, what did you say to Yvonne? Were you like, this house is not haunted?
Of course.
What are you gonna
but she's four or five
Right.
years old.
She's
and
not gonna
I-
believe you.
I don't believe you. I believe her.
You also didn't tell her it wasn't haunted until she was 15. So,
Shh, I haven't told her yet. Shh.
And now she's a teacher.
yeah.
She is.
She's a
teacher.
teacher,
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic
We
teacher.
I would have loved to have her sit to the left of me, but somebody has to watch the.
Someone has to do work and be responsible.
Yona's working.
Yeah. and your sister's taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
And now you guys get a great break.
Yeah.
You should take them out for cocktails afterwards.
No, we got to go back. as
So
always.
that's what you talked about
We'll
on
talk
the way
about
in.
it.
So, see, look, we're going on a date to talk to my father on the
Yeah.
show.
That was
Father
our.
and Jerry.
This is our date. After date
these,
morning.
So these guys literally did this at the last minute. So thank you so much, for doing it. I thought it just to be a lot. To me, I'm just taking daddy, grandpa, executive producer privilege. I hope we're not
EP
bored.
credits. Huh?
Yeah, he's the EP.
I'm the EP. I hope
Very proud of that.
I'm very proud of
Yeah.
that. I didn't know I was one until Terry started adding it into my
Signing
title.
it. But that's how most people get EP credits, by the way.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah, that's
It's a
very true.
glamour title. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
I didn't tell him that. I didn't say that the director does all the hosts, all the work, and the host makes sure
Why do you
everything
think on
is
every
on.
show all of the main talent have EP credits on it?
Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her.
See?
You're right.
Sorry, Dad.
You're
Jerry-
right. Executive producer is the most important position on this show.
Jerry,
The
you
most
know I
important
love
position.
you. You know you love you, but I believe her.
Oh, she is right. She is 100%. She's in the game.
Hell, I thought I was doing good.
She's in the game.
So anyway, it's.
You were going to say something.
I thought they get paid more. If,
Well, they
if
can get
the EP
paid
credit.
for it. It producer
Oh, whoa, whoa,
gets
whoa!
paid for it.
I'm supposed to get paid?
The
Whoa! Time out.
The EP, in a lot of ways, how would you characterize that title?
It's a fluff title.
Oh, come on.
It is. In the
Well, then
sense,
apparently I'm not.
if you look on for any show, call it
Manifest.
I'm not going to do that. So
Okay.
call it Better Call Saul. It's a perfect example.
go.
Better Call Saul. He is credited.
Bob Odenkirk?
Bob Odenkirk is credited as an EP, an executive producer. Before he directed, the point of having an executive producer title is that you get some kickback, and it also makes the actor feel that in the
So
negotiation
hold on. I'm
process.
supposed to get paid.
Yes.
I'm supposed to have a kickback.
Correct.
Just checking with you.
But you
Jerry.
get less money as an actor. It helps it's all a negotiation process.
So,
Do you understand? So
are you comfortable with a drop in the name?
No.
I don't think we should drop the name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the whole point is
Thought I'd
that
try.
he was pushing probably for more money, and they're like, "We'll give you a credit."
Okay.
Yvonne says EP bubble popped.
Sorry.
And your mom says the kids are sleeping.
Oh,
The kids
thank
are
God.
sleeping. And Yona says, Keith, you are not an actor. You are not an actor.
Call down my mom.
Everybody
He
just
is very
jumped on
good,
Keith
Yona.
right there.
He's very good in this setting, though, Yona. You got to admit that. So it sounds like you guys could do a day date. Your kids are sleeping.
It sounds
Not
like this
for
is the
long.
200th and last show.
No, Harry, no.
I think renegotiating time.
I
might be-
think that's why I'm setting you up.
Oh, got it.
See?
She's working
do
for
we have
you.
a union here?
We do not have a union.
No.
Right to work state.
The hardest working
Union.
person in this studio is Liza the dog.
Liza's doing
That's
great.
absolutely not true.
You know that's okay.
That's
Thank you
not-
for saying that. So you know what? Your dad has got such a big heart.
Yes.
He is a very generous and caring and likable guy.
This sounds expensive.
When he comes into the studio, like many of our guests, they spoil Liza. You met Liza.
I filled up her water.
She's a lovable dog, right?
Yeah, I know.
She's very So Yasmina filled up her water.
She snuck on the job on the set.
She was about to do it.
Yeah.
Then Judah grabbed her back. Keith is the only guest that comes into the studio that doesn't give her one treat, 2 treats. He gives her 13
Yeah.
treats. Literally 13
But I bring my own treats.
You do bring your own treats.
But
From
do you want to
Patty
know
Zeller.
where he learned that from?
Well, is it you?
No.
Is it
it's-
Leo?
No, it's my grandfather, because my grandfather, Pop, always
Carried treats in his pocket.
always has treats in his pocket. It doesn't matter whose house he goes to, if it's
Yep.
our home when we had Syra, if it's Matt's house, or my uncle, if it's our aunt's house, he always has treats in his pocket.
And you know, as a result, Judah, I hate to say this, I think Liza may leave you for Keith. And Keith says
Totally working on
absolutely
it. Totally, that is my game plan.
to take Liza.
Totally my
that
game
would
plan.
devastate our buddy.
I
Jay
would.
Dubs.
I love our director too much to
J-Dubs.
do that. The J Dubs. Yeah.
This
Why-
is normally where you go.
No, I'm back at this.
J-Dubs.
I'm back at this EP thing. I haven't quite resolved this whole EP
Sorry,
thing.
Jerry.
Sorry, I know. Darn it, Yasmina. Darn it.
You know,
Well, now you just need get him a
2.5
director title.
effing years.
Can you imagine him directing the show?
He's not in front of the camera.
Who?
You. Jonas says,
I don't know.
congratulations.
I-
200th show, many, many, many more.
Yeah.
200 plus, many, many more.
So when I all kidding aside, and we're having a lot of fun here, and at least I am, and this was I knew this was going to turn into a roast of me. That's the reason I'm
gave
sitting
you a
here.
lot of
right?
compliments.
And do, no, thank you.
She gave you props.
Thank you. But again, really, this show makes me better at my job.
That's
It
great,
really,
Daddy.
really does, and it forces me to study the material, to study what it is. It also does, and it's a great thing with these roundtables that we do. We engage, we get personal. At least that's what I thought the job of an EP was.
You do. You know what? I will say this. Keith does a tremendous job of putting together fabulous guest lists. Like whenever we're doing the show and they're guests on the show, it's his network and his doing organizing and scheduling this. He puts a lot of time into it. He knows a tremendous amount of his colleagues watch this program.
Yeah.
A lot of presidents of CAR. You know if you say something that may not be right or
yeah.
accurate that you're going to get called out. But 99.99999% of everything he's saying is come from due diligence, a lot of homework, and a lot of effort. He was waking up at
Well, I wake up anytime at 4:30. So.
Jerry, you don't have to. I know.
and grinding. Well, I'm
See-
talking
Oh,
Hey, there are people watching
Oh,
and listening.
I guess so.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 15 cameras floating around here.
and you do a hell of a job.
I
Well,
know he does. He's done this my whole life.
He's a great guy.
So it's
A
just
stand-up
me.
guy.
It's just me being me, just in front of a camera. That's all, in a microphone. And I thought I had a title, but apparently I
You
don't.
do have a
do have a title.
It's a title.
You just don't know what the title means.
EP is a title.
Well, yes, Daddy, you're doing
We're
great.
gonna have to change the definition of that.
We should do. What
You
is
can
the,
keep the definition. You have to change the monetary value.
or we add a different title, an additional title. What's the title where someone is in charge of the characters and the actors and the staffing of the show or the movie, where they're
Are you talking casting director?
yeah, casting director.
Yes.
Casting director.
It's a much better.
It's much more real. This exists.
He comes in. Zing!
executive producer and casting director, because he's
Yeah.
organizing the cast.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You get more money doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't do this for the money.
I know,
folks.
Daddy. I'm just giving
I don't
you.
do this for the money.
I'm
I
giving
do this.
you a
I do
hard
this for the
time.
love of it.
Nicholas Erpy, Keith's title is Star Power.
Oh, Nicholas, I love you.
Star Power. You know what? I'm going to respond back. That was a great comment, Nicholas.
Nicholas-
Star Power.
Yeah, thank you.
Does Nicholas
Thank
work for you?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Harry Tyson.
Everyone's.
Can we get this
Oh,
out?
sorry. I got.
He's
One
on.
job.
I was engaging. I'm having a. Honestly, this is probably one of the most uninterrupted conversations I've had with my dad in the past 3 years.
Wow.
You have to understand. I'm now a mom, and it's very. It's
Well, I don't help that much by saying, "Gotta go.
correct.
I'm on my way to a
It's-
meeting."
I mean, in my scheduling when I am working, it's also difficult because you can either catch me at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm in a car, if I'm going into work that late, or at 11 o'clock at night when I'm coming home. So it's just difficult to actually talk. And then if we do FaceTime, I have a child running around at some point. So it's actually nice to have a conversation with my dad.
This is a great comment from your beautiful 7/8. You surely know how to bring the best out of all of us.
Aw,
thank you.
Who wrote that?
That's sweet.
Yona.
Yona.
Aw,
This is 7/8.
She's so good.
Isn't she awesome?
She's so much better than us.
She's
Oh,
amazing.
she's-
He said it was better half. He says that
Keith outkicked his coverage
better.
with Yona.
She's better than anybody in this studio.
Oh no, by far.
By far.
By the women's 4-miler far.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's so it still happens every once in a while. I'll go, oh, I'll go doing a meeting or whatever. Oh, you're Yona's husband.
Yeah.
That's not Keith.
Mustache Dan Pettit watches the program all the time. He goes, "I'm watching the show for Yona mentions."
That's right.
She's got her own charisma. I think it's the accent and the fact that she doesn't yell.
Well, and
It's always very
She's not
quiet.
this New Yorker in your face
she's
kind of.
very elegant.
I know.
She always is like put together and elegant.
know.
Always is in the moment. Is probably one of the kindest people
I
I've
know.
ever met.
I've never ever met anybody that never had a kind word to say.
She's
about
so kind.
Yeah, me not so much.
Wow.
but
I mean, you're a little more. How would you characterize him? A little more.
I'm there.
He's a New Yorker. Yeah, she gave you the puzzle.
Afangul.
Cool, thank you. How about this? How long have you guys been married?
Oh my God.
9, 17, 16.
So 5 years?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
5 years.
Coming
You're
up.
supposed to know this answer.
It's
people.
going to be 5 years on the 17th.
Dad, we literally
So
have
we're basically
never.
the same. So you guys are 4 and change.
Well, it was September.
Well,
Wait, 2 weeks.
It's going to be
is-
5 years in 2 weeks.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So mine, we're 4 and change. My wife and I, June 3rd, 2017.
Okay.
What do we say? How long have you been married?
35.
What is the secret? Do we
See,
want
I
to
know
the
that, right?
secret?
Just like that.
The secret to 35 years.
Dad, it's also how old I am.
Okay.
I know, but that's 2 things that you can help remember.
So you said your age.
Yes. Yes.
You just did,
Yeah.
honey.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you look great.
Damn.
You look
So
great.
you can give out your address. I do it all the
No,
time.
don't give out your address. Do not do that. You have kids. Do not do that. People want.
I even give out my cell phone number. I don't
Yeah.
care.
So 35 years. Do we want to know what the secret is to 30? I would love to know the secret.
I don't know if
You
there
know
is
it.
a secret for
There is a
35
secret.
years. I
There
mean,
is a
and you
secret.
guys work together, which is insane.
So we've been married 35 years. We worked together every day for 35
That is
years.
amazing.
We've only knew each other 3 months.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
I do a lot.
Not only did we not only know each other for 3 months, I convinced, talk about a sales job.
Yeah, that's your best close ever.
I convinced a beautiful Austrian woman that was on a fast track.
Ambassador, right?
She was on a fast track in the Austrian State Department. She was a charge d'affaires, which is the second in charge. It's a fancy French word. She's the fancy French word. I'm trying to get engaged in the
You're
conversation.
doing a hell of a job, dude.
So,
Good job, executive producer.
thank you. That's not getting paid. I got to talk about that.
Casting
No,
director.
casting director. So, in any event, who was charge d'affaires, second in charge at an embassy in Sofia, Bulgaria in 1985, and convinced this woman to leave all that,
Leave her family.
leave her family, leave Europe, to come with me to Ottawa, Canada, for my last 9-month rotation, which just happened
In
to
the
be
cold.
in the cold, which was, if anybody knows anything about Ottawa, it's like the winter 9 months a year anyway.
Or my mother. She hates being cold.
She hates being cold, so to convince her to do that, and we've lasted 35 years.
That's amazing.
You guys are always, you know what it was? I think, and Yvonne can attest to it. You always held hands. It was
We
always.
always touch each other.
There was always
Mhm.
but there was always a nice contact in that sense.
We always touch each other.
We had, my sister and I always knew what a good, healthy in a sense, and they also did work. You also worked on your relationship, which I think a
Every
lot
day.
of people don't highlight and kind of
How so?
stigmatize. They went to couples therapy, absolutely, but they also, but you were never. It was
Did I ever
never.
tell you that story?
No,
Never
we're
tell-
about to hear it.
Oh, never
No,
told
but
you
it
that
was
story?
never stigmatized for us. It was maintenance on
Well, it's really simple.
being with somebody and having children and knowing that you need to reconnect and figure out another way to communicate, because I didn't know how to communicate at 20 something years old. Harry and I have a great sense of communication because we both came to our relationship knowing that there were certain things that we didn't want, in the sense of, don't yell at each other. You don't get anywhere from it. If you're going to have a conversation, have a conversation.
Mom and I, you can probably count on one hand that you ever saw Mom and I argue.
It was, I will say this, it was when I was younger and you guys were younger, so I think
Yeah, so that wasn't an argument. These were just debates,
they
vocal
were,
debates.
They were fun debates.
Vocal debates.
I distinctly remember
Vocal debates.
Mom getting out
Trying
of
to
the
get my
car.
way out of this one.
Well done.
I thought I did good. Yeah.
You guys were young and you
thought
had
I
a
did
small
good.
kid.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out.
So what happens with that
I
situation?
couldn't imagine that. being in your early 20s with a kid
Yeah, right.
working together?
Had our own businesses.
Your Jonas says your kids are safe and sleeping.
How are they still sleeping? It's
Day
11.
date.
So no. So what happens is, we're together all the time for 30, and every once in a while.
Oh, Yona, I've never looked back. It's the best decision I've ever made in my entire
See,
life.
it's why she's just the best.
She thinks I have money. Don't tell her I don't.
Keith is a risk taker, though. Like
Oh
you
my
got to
gosh.
realize that there was potential there that he could ruin her life. Like she was on the
not
track,
over
like,
yet.
up and
It's not
up.
over yet.
She was
It's not
doing
over.
well,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, take a chance on me. You know, like that's
Is that an ABBA song?
that's
Take a chance on me.
Well, he did have
It's a
the
big risk.
He did
I mean, it
have
worked out, but,
the
um,
advantage of being a man in uniform at the time, right?
yeah, who could say no to
He's
that?
always a man in uniform.
Yeah, always dressed to the nines.
I am. So the therapy story. You want to hear this?
There's
would
a
love to hear it.
story. I just think that it was good
Might
that you guys
influence my
worked
wife
on your
who's watching with
relationship.
this story.
So
God.
we're together all the time, right? We're together. We're literally together all the time, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and sometimes we kind of forget how to talk to one another, and we realize that, and then we need to go ahead and get therapy. But the last time that we did this, we just said, look, we need to have this conversation. I'll leave the therapist's names out of it. You want to know how it ended?
Yes, honey, you're right.
No. So the therapist leans over and she goes, "You know what you guys would make? A great." And I go, "No, what? You guys would make a great sitcom. You need to leave." And I said, "I think we just got fired. Keith and Yona would make a great sitcom." And that's how we ended our class.
And that was the last session.
That was the last session. We said, "I guess we're good," and then we left. But yeah, so I'm okay with it. I to be honest with you, I started therapy when I broke my back for the first time. I was in my late 20s, just mid 20s actually. Just got out of the Marine Corps. Bullets bounce off of you. I can't work. I was laid up for a year.
Couldn't work for a year.
Oh yeah. Second time was a year and a half.
Wow.
It was bad.
Second time took me a year and a half to learn how to walk again. And so
And
He
then
doesn't climb any ladders.
He does. But it didn't stop him. Like after he broke his back his second time, I ran a half marathon with him.
Yep. So I used to second time was full body, the brace around the neck and the halo.
Mm-hmm.
So when you every once in a while think, Smith's got a few screw looses in her head.
You literally do.
I literally got
Oh
some
my
screw-
God, Harry! Look how he points.
Yeah,
He points like little Harry.
that's how little Harry points.
Well, he
Sometimes,
points
yeah.
now. He points at things he doesn't think.
So how did you run?
I was just doing this.
How did you run the development business with a broken back?
You see this young lady called Yona Smith?
She ran the business. That's amazing.
Literally, yeah.
With a
Done it-
bratty teenager. So
done it
I was
twice.
18, and then Yvonne was 10, nursing dad back to health.
So just think about that. We lost everything we had, and we talked about this on the way in, 2008, 2010. We also had a couple of situations where in 92, when I broke my back in the first time, I had no income. We had no income because I was there. So Yona stepped up to the plate, big time. Always steps up to the plate. But do you want to answer somebody? You guys know the answer to the marriage, the secret of 35 years.
Daddy, I don't know.
I know the answer to
You know that.
I have my own of what we
Go ahead,
do.
what's your
I know
answer?
yours is to make each other a better person every day.
Be with somebody, marry somebody, whatever the term you wish
Or
to
that
use.
makes you a better person
That makes
every
you a better person every day. It's that simple.
What's your answer?
For us, I think that when we do feel like a conflict is coming, if there's an argument, a brewing, you need to sit back and determine who this is more important to.
Ooh.
Pick your battles.
Yes.
But it's not really pick your battles.
No, is
That's
this
important.
you? Is this
But
about you?
It just depends on whatever the topic is. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but is this something I give a shit about? Like, is this worth arguing? It's obviously important to her. Let's just do what she wants to do. And I feel like she does the same thing.
Yeah.
Or another way, is it about you or about her? Is this about me, right? Is this, whatever this matter
Yeah.
is about me, or is it about,
Well, it's
Yeah.
ultimately about making that other person happy.
Right.
And that's it.
And generally, it's more important to me that you're happy than that I am, and
Dude, this
vice
guy's
versa.
a catch.
I told you, you
You
should
were A+.
have.
But it depends on what it is, because there's sometimes there's an occasion where there's something that happens to be very important to me, and she'll know that. So like if she wanted to go do this thing this weekend, but I had said, well, there's this other thing that I really want to go to, and it's with my college friends or something like that, then we're either both going to go do our own thing, or we're going to go do my thing. Because it's very important to me. If whatever her thing that she
So
wants
it's
to
open
do
communication.
it was just something that just came up, and it's like, I thought this would be fun to do. So usually I feel like the argument, the conflicts come with like time. Like
Yeah,
how are we
always.
going to spend our time this weekend, or how are we going to spend our time?
Do you remember when I
particular
ran
night.
over Mommy's
Stand
brand
up,
new
dude.
car?
The
What's that?
blue car?
The blue, when I ran over with the pickup truck?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ran over a car with a pickup truck?
My mom,
Yeah.
Jonas, her, yes.
So, Dad, it must have been like the first brand new car you ever.
It was literally
Purchased.
it was a Honda
Civic.
Accord EX.
Oh, no.
And was it the first BMW?
No, it was this. No, Yvonne wasn't born. It was at the Blue House, and it was the blue Civic.
Oh, it was a brand new Honda Civic EX.
and
that's
you
right.
had your truck, and the car was parked on the side of the house where the office was,
behind the truck.
behind the truck.
And I was running late, go
and
figure.
You just pulled out.
And I put it in reverse and hit the gas and parked the ass end of the truck right on top of the
Because
car.
Mom was visiting my grandmother in Europe.
So she was in Europe for
gone.
like 3 or 4 weeks.
So how'd you fix that?
I called the guy. Talk about this one. I called the guy, got it all done.
Totally ruined it.
Totally ruined it. Got it all done. Got it all. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this.
You're just going to like fix it and not mention it.
and not mention it. Yona's never going to know anything about it.
Yeah, right.
So this is pre 9/11. So IAD. Yona's coming through the gates. You had to have been like 6 years old
Yeah,
or 5 years old. It was
before Yvonne was born.
before Yvonne was born. You ran from my hand, went to mommy, Daddy, mommy, Daddy ran over your car. It didn't even take a fraction of a
Ratted him out
second.
immediately.
Ratted me out. So, look, you've got a big show coming up. I know we're running a little bit
Oh,
over.
it's totally fine. I'm enjoying this.
But this was important to me. This is your family,
Thank you.
your family,
See, that's what happens.
Judah's
Yeah,
family.
it's the best.
No, I'm serious. And that's my family, and I wanted to spend the 200th show with my family today. Getting my chops busted.
Sorry, I'm enjoying my dad's moment.
Your mom, Yona Smith, blessed to run tomorrow's 4-miler with my girls.
Yes, I'm very excited. Well, that was the ultimate thing, is that we wanted to be there to support Mom, and she doesn't really do much for herself.
She's been training for this.
She has. We're really proud of her. And again, she doesn't. My mother is amazing to so many people and will do anything for anyone, but she
Except
does
for herself.
very
Little for
little,
herself.
very little for herself.
That's beautiful.
And this is what she's doing for herself, is running 4 miles,
That's amazing. Yona.
which is not like a spa day.
That is amazing.
But she wants to do it with Yvonne and I, so I'm glad that we get to
So
do
are
that.
you guys going to run with her?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So have you been training?
After this pregnancy, I picked up running again. Actually, I never really
You
stopped.
just
but
ran the half, didn't you?
yeah, no, I ran a
she ran a
10K.
10K.
Okay, that was Sissy that ran the half.
10K.
Yvonne has been really running halfs. I don't think I can.
Well, she's
do
a
it.
Division I athlete, so.
Yeah, she did it super easy, which is
Yeah.
rude.
A swimmer.
Swimming, yeah.
Yeah.
sure,
She is a teacher in Seattle.
Seattle, yeah. I was hoping she would come in because I want to battle around, what's that like to be a teacher in Seattle in the middle of COVID. But
Someone's got to watch the kids.
Somebody's got to
They're
watch.
safe
the
and
kids.
sleeping.
I heard.
Still.
Yeah. That means you guys get a day date. You're so
Oh,
lucky.
it won't last for long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 200th show. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks
Thank you
for
to
being
you.
on too, Jerry.
Yeah,
and thanks
yeah.
for hanging out with him.
Yeah.
He really does love this.
Oh, he's great at it. I sincerely
know.
mean, he is very, very, very good.
I
at
know you should have, at my sister's wedding, the speech that he gave, we all stood in one spot, and I emceed the wedding, which I didn't really realize I was doing. And I go, and here's the father of the bride, and I hand him the mic. Everybody stood in one spot. Dad just walked around and was like, hey, bing, bang, boom, what's this?
That is my favorite character of yours, I think.
Bing
it.
bang
What's
boom.
the big bamboo?
Whatever that.
He said none
So
of
that's
those
the
sounds.
first laugh that got out. Yasmina has this infectious, laugh that just comes from from our gut on out. It's just great to be around.
Why do you think he married me?
But that's what happened. Yeah. So they I got limited my amount of time. I got my limited. I got told.
because the concern would be that
I would just keep on
going.
I would just
Keep
wouldn't shut
going.
up. I wouldn't shut up. But it was really cool, man. So somebody from my perspective. So the wedding, Yvonne's wedding, was pretty much, and your wedding too, was broken up. Yvonne's a little bit different because I got to spend more time with a bunch of her swimming buddies and so forth and so on. But it was broken up into 3 groups, right? There was, the people my age and up, right? Your kind of age group in the middle. And then there was this whole table section of these 20-something kids.
Oh, there was a Harry chant at Yvonne's wedding.
There was a Harry chant at Yvonne's wedding. There was also "Let Him Speak" chant.
There was one for you.
That was for me because she handed me the microphone and made the process of saying, "Don't control the whole show here." And the younger people were going, "Let him speak."
Yeah.
So,
Yona, this is for you, Judah. Thank you to Judah Wickhauer for making these 200 shows such a fun experience.
what
Looking
I'm
forward to
saying.
many more together. Judah, we should emphasize this. He's our director, the strong, silent type.
I would agree with that.
Our North Star, the man behind the scenes.
Well,
that,
our part's the easy part.
Oh,
He
no doubt.
took out my title.
No, he's got your title on there. Let's
I
put
know, but my original title was I don't need a title.
Can we put the lower thirds on
fine.
screen so we
Logan.
can show her?
No, did he change it? I thought it was daughter.
Oh, no, it's Keith's daughter.
Oh, I know, but I didn't write that. I wrote. He directed that.
Oh,
That was a
Director,
creative,
well done.
creative choice.
Director, nicely done, director. Can you go
He took
studio
some liberty
camera?
there. He
Put
took
your
some-
hand up, Judah, so we can see
Raise your
Judah in
hand,
the back
raise
of the
your
head
hand.
over there.
Yeah, because when they put a title, I said I don't need a title.
Keith's daughter, Keith's son-in-law. There we go. I like it. Judah, you're A+ people. You are A+ people. You guys, this has been fun.
Yeah, it was great.
That's all I wanted to do today was just celebrate you, make you part of my family. That's my family. Judah's part of my family. Liza's part of my family.
Liza.
You may not appreciate being part of the family, but you are part of the family.
I do appreciate it.
And
Jerry, we just do it with the kids next time. Just the time.
Wow.
I don't want to be here, but just have our
Oh,
kids.
the kids right here?
Yeah,
and no
yeah.
parents?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, the EP
Yeah.
is making an executive
Oh,
producer.
casting director. That's a casting director call.
Yes,
No,
it
not
is.
happening.
I'm
Not an
pitching
acting
you.
casting director?
Yeah.
Where you
I got
here.
Alex Erpy texting me. I'm getting.
Yeah. Can you get back to that man?
Okay, I will.
Okay, okay.
I will.
This family is...
So he knows better than anybody. Our chemistry's gotten to the point he knows exactly when my ADD kicks in.
I see it right there. I try to...
and when it's to rally me back in. But
This family is as good as it gets. They are the principals of Yes Realty Partners. And I tell you what, I cannot suggest anybody else besides Yes Realty Partners to help you navigate one of the most difficult decisions outside of who you marry, and that's buying and selling real estate.
You don't even have to do it in Virginia. We use them in Connecticut.
There you go.
we do it. Well, that's right.
You do it everywhere.
Did one over in Malaysia not too long ago.
Yeah. I mean, Yes Realty Partners, guys. Trust the name of the game. Harry, Yasmina, Keith, Judah, Liza, I'm Jerry. This is Real Talk.
12:30. Talk about what you got going.
12:30, we have City Councilor Lloyd Snook and Police Civilian Review Board Chairman Bellamy Brown to analyze and discuss in fair fashion
Absolutely.
the termination of Police Chief Rashal Brackney, who was terminated Wednesday afternoon.
You should watch it. Get some knowledge going there.
I think it's going to be an impactful show. Casting director, job well done. Job well done, casting
Whatever.
Well, he brought us here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It legitimately is.
It's a better title.
Okay.
Dad.
Don't you think that is actually the title
I do.
he's doing? Casting director.
I think they're under the SAG uniform too, so you get good
So
retirement benefits.
Perks and bennies.
Okay.
Perks and bennies.
Whatever.
That means you get an extra hug. On the
Okay,
Island
there you
Studio
go.
Network.
There you go. I
you
appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us today, guys. We'll see you in 50 minutes on
Good
the I
luck
Love
today on the
Steve
show, man.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Jerry.
Take care. That was fun.
That was
Yeah.
great.
You glad you did it?
I'm always glad I did it, man.
Cheers, man.